Welcome to the video. Today's video I'm gonna show you how to change your steering wheel, or how to remove and replace your steering wheel on a 1971 Dodge Challenger. Stay tuned. So on this 1971 Dodge Challenger, this is the factory steering wheel. I think, I'm not sure what they call this, but it does have the crush sleeve on here. And this one's cracked, so it's got a few cracks. Kind of, you know, for the age, it's okay. It's a little bit kind of coming apart here. Overall, it's not too bad condition. But I am gonna replace it with this Grant steering wheel. This is 15 inch. It's a little bit smaller than the factory one. As you can see, it's barely smaller, but it is a little bit smaller. So overall, the diameter is just maybe about half an inch smaller all the way around. But this steering wheel is supposed to fit right on the factory location without having to buy an adapter or anything, so that's why I liked it. This one also is kind of, I tried to clean it already, but it kind of smells. I don't know what the heck, but anyways, let's get started. I think we're gonna need a 3/8 or 7/16 socket and then a Phillips screwdriver. That's really all you need to switch this up. This steering wheel, if you buy it normally, I believe is about $180. I did get this as a Amazon special. It was considered used for about $84, so I figured let me try it. From the instructions, looks like there's supposed to be kind of like some clip on here where this is supposed to clip to the factory location, but it wasn't in the box, and I don't know if it's just kind of broken off because it's not in there. This also came with it. I believe this is if you don't have this type of steering column and you have to buy the adapter from Grant, you know, for the horn, you put this over the adapter, and then this is supposed to go on top of this somehow. I just don't see, you know, I guess you can glue it. So we're gonna figure that out once we get this one off. So first thing is Phillips screwdriver, and the socket size is 7/16 actually. So if you look back here, there's gonna be a screw on each one of the spokes for the steering wheel. So you take these off, there's one on each one. I'm gonna take those off, and I'm probably gonna have to put the camera down here for a second. Now if your car is kind of rusty like this one is, it could be a little hard to take this little Phillips screws off. But these ones are coming off pretty simply. Pretty easy. So it's just gonna depend what your vehicle's gonna be like, I guess. Now if you're just wanting to take your steering wheel off to maybe replace your turn signal switch, it's the same process. You're just gonna put this back in there. Once those 3 bolts are out, you take this piece off. So we're just gonna put it aside. And then when you get to this point here, this is your horn button. You should be able to just pull it off. Whoa. And that's the clip that's under there, which I think that's the clip that is missing off that button. But I'm not too sure. Once you get to this point, it's pretty simple. So there's 3 bolts right here. This is the 7/16. Once we take these 3 off, we can take the whole steering wheel off. And then once it's in the bench, or even now, we could take this 3 Phillips screws and transfer this over to the new one. So 7/16. And these aren't really that tight, so I don't know if that's normal or... And then there's this little wire that connects to the horn, so I'm just gonna unplug it from right there. If your battery's connected, then you know, if you touch this around, it's probably gonna honk, so just keep that in mind. Mine's not connected, so it doesn't matter. So at this point, you can just pull your steering wheel off. If you need to take this piece off to get to your turn signal switch, you just need a steering wheel puller. There's 2 holes right in there that you want to get some long bolts, and then the steering wheel puller to push in the center of the bolt. Take obviously the big nut off, and you can take this thing all the way off. So for me, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this ring off. And same thing, it's 3 Phillips screws, really small. And these are about like a fine thread, so you want to make sure you don't lose these, because then you'll have a hard time probably finding some that are the same. And this is just that piece that, you know, makes contact for your horn when you push it. And it looks like it has 2 little guides here on the back, so hopefully the grand steering wheel fits right in. So there's also this little notch right there that is supposed to go on that notch there. So since I'm doing this with one hand, it looks like it fits right in. Now don't let this fool you. A little bit earlier when I was taking this off, I did drill these holes out just slightly because factory they were too small for this stud. So just so you know, you may need to drill those holes a little bit bigger so that it goes over those studs. But that wasn't too difficult, that wasn't too bad. So, and then let's see here. Those little guides do fit on this steering wheel as well. So I'm just putting these 3 little screws back on here. And I'm just gonna center this piece as much as I can in the hole in the center. So and then I'm just gonna plug this little wire in. So at this point, just get the nuts that hold the old steering wheel on. I gotta say, really, this is pretty nice steering wheel. I mean, it fits right in place of the factory one, and I don't mind that it's black. It matches with the dash. Once that gets restored in the future, it's probably gonna be black as well. So and then I'm just gonna tighten these up. I don't think they have to be super tight, but I'm just gonna make them pretty snug here. Okay, Now normally, like I said, I think this is supposed to have a clip like this, and so you would just put this button right here in the middle. Right now, I mean, this one fits there, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and sand these little pieces there flat, and then I'm gonna glue the old horn button right in the center, and then that way I can just clip it on and it'll go right in there. So let me get something to sand that out, and then we'll go ahead and glue this piece right in there. Okay, went ahead and sanded the center there. I scuffed this a little bit, so I'm just gonna make some epoxy, put it right in there, and then just center it and let it dry, and that should be our new horn button there. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this JB Weld plastic weld. Hopefully it holds well. Go some there. And then just mix it. And I honestly don't know if this is the best epoxy to use for this, but we are definitely gonna give it a try and see what happens. Worst case scenario, this comes off, so I'll just have to reglue it. Not a big deal. Gonna put some here. And then I'm just gonna dump the rest in here. And this stuff stinks a little bit, so if you need to put on a respirator or a mask, if not, make sure you're in ventilated area, because okay, let's see. So it looks pretty straight, pretty centered. So pretty much at this point, I'm just gonna let this dry, probably overnight. And then we'll just go pop it in that new steering wheel. So once that's dry and I pop it in, I'll show you what it looks like once it's all done. Okay, so the horn button is dry. I went ahead and also did some silicone here, just so that way there's not that kind of that gap in between, so it's all dry. Now I just gotta go, should just pop in. So this is the horn button that's for the steering wheel, and there you are. It's nice and clean. It works. So it looks pretty close to factory. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel.